Hello, I'm Chrystal D. Giles, middle grade author of novels Take Back the Block and my latest, Not an Easy Win. This book features 12-year-old Lawrence, who is learning what moves to make and what moves not to make when you aren't the person who makes the rules. It features themes of friendship, family, and forgiveness, and I'm thrilled to read to you the first chapter. Chapter 1, Expelled. I was pretty sure that meant I was being kicked out of school forever. Principal Spacey didn't even bother to look at me when he handed down the sentence. I'd been warned after my last fight. The next time you walk into this office will be your last, he'd said. That was just 4 weeks ago, when I had 6 fists pounding my head into the pavement. I wouldn't call it a fight. It was more like a beatdown. This time, it was just 2 fists and 1 foot. I was able to escape before it got too bloody. I even threw a couple punches of my own. I had actually become pretty good at taking hits. My skin had gotten harder to hurt. But like Mr. Spacey said, it didn't matter who'd started the fight, just that it had happened. And it had happened to me one too many times. Even if Billy Jakes had gotten into just as many fights, Mr. Spacey treated our school like it was some kind of jail. He was the warden instead of the principal, always walking around talking about maintaining law and order. He couldn't wait to get rid of me, and only me. I could hear the frustration in Ma's voice from my spot outside of Mr. Spacey's office. Please give him one more chance, she'd said. Please. I hated hearing her beg, especially when it wouldn't help. This was my last chance. I tried to get Ma to transfer me to another school after the last fight. Andrew Jackson Middle School was no place for me. I never fit in here, and I never would. I sat there listening to him explain to Ma that I was a distraction and he wouldn't tolerate my disregard for the rules he'd put in place for his school. He dismissed me and her by saying, "That is all." Ma held her head up high and walked out of his office, past me in the waiting area, past the pale-faced office ladies, and out the door. I slow walked behind her, waiting to hear how this was all my fault. "Now what are you gonna do?" Ma asked me after we were out of the earshot of the nosy office people. "Me? What about them?" I shrugged. I didn't know what I was gonna do, and I didn't care. Honestly, I hoped I'd never see that place again. Ma went on talking, more to herself than to me. "You wasted my gas coming back and forth up here to this school. And just like that, this was my fault." I looked forward and kept walking toward the parking lot. With each step, I winced. A rib shot was the worst kind of pain, way worse than a shot to the face. When we got to the car, I hesitated before I got inside. Mom was in a fussing mood, and I'd have to listen to this all the way to Granny's house. "Get in," Ma yelled. Her calm was completely undone now. "You're 12 years old, too old for this." I went over to the passenger side of the car and waited for Ma to open the door. That door didn't open from the outside anymore. It had just stopped working one day. No one knew why, but that was probably Ma's fault too. "The only job you have is to go to school, and you can't even do that." Ma started in again. "And if you aren't in school, you have to find some kind of way to help out. Your granny won't let you sit around the house all day." "I can just leave," I said under my breath. "Where you gonna go?" Ma spat out. I didn't have an answer. I stared out the window into the gloomy air, and the gray sky stared back. She was right. I was trapped. We rode in silence for exactly 22 minutes before we turned off the road into a bumpy, pokey lane. Granny Street wasn't a dirt road, but it wasn't smooth pavement either. After lots of driving on and no fixing, it was mostly broken up pieces of asphalt now. Mom pulled off the crack road into Granny's gravel driveway and turned the car off. She let out a deep breath. Look, Lawrence, this ain't all your fault. Life is hard, and we've had a double dose of hard lately. Mom's voice was softer now, her version of an apology. I knew I'd never get the real thing. Mom wasn't the apologizing type. Whenever I did something wrong, I had to apologize. I wasn't sure why adults didn't have to. For a moment, I'd forgotten about my stinging left eye. It would double in size if I didn't get ice on it soon. I sat in the thick air of Mom's car waiting for her to ask about it, or at least see if I was okay. 2 long minutes passed. Silence. All right, let's just go in and get it over with, Mom sighed. If she says something, we'll just say it wasn't your fault. It wasn't my fault, I wanted to yell out, but I knew it wouldn't matter. No one cared about what had really happened. No one cared that I had a huge target on me since the day I started at that school. Everyone just looked at me like I was the problem. I hope you enjoyed that first chapter. This is a book very close to my heart, and I hope you will pick it up and read. Thank you.